This is how we discovered who the Zodiac Killer is. Welcome, true crime enthusiasts, to one of the most chilling tales of mystery and human obsession. Today, we unravel the story behind the hunt for the Zodiac Killer, a name that has haunted the shadows of San Francisco's dark history since the 1960s. It's been decades of unanswered questions, fear-filled imaginations, and coded taunts from a faceless villain. In an astonishing twist, the team of civilian sleuths known as the Casebreakers claim to have solved this enigma. Their investigation points to a name that the world never expected: Francis Poste, an Air Force veteran whose unsuspecting demeanor masked a darker reality. How was this conclusion reached, decades after law enforcement hit dead ends? What pieces of evidence finally aligned to reveal the Zodiac Killer? Let's dive into this labyrinthine case of secrets, codes, and relentless determination. The Zodiac story begins in the late 1960s, a time when the San Francisco Bay Area became ground zero for a series of chilling murders. The killer taunted the public and law enforcement alike, sending cryptic letters and riddles to the press. While claiming responsibility for multiple murders, many of which remain officially unverified, his haunting threats gripped the nation in fear. 5 confirmed murders are tied to the Zodiac, committed between 1968 and 1969. But his correspondence suggests he might have been involved in up to 37 deaths. Law enforcement and experts were confounded by his brazen confidence. Despite numerous leads, encoded ciphers, and intense scrutiny, the Zodiac remained virtually untouchable, as if mocking those who chased him. When the letters stopped in 1974, the trail grew cold. The Zodiac had vanished, leaving behind only fear and a list of unanswered questions. The case slipped into the realm of urban legends, but the need for answers never faded. Enter the Casebreakers, a team assembled with one goal: to solve cold cases. This unique group is made up of investigative journalists, retired FBI agents, seasoned detectives, and others from various professional domains. Their approach combines fieldwork, advanced forensics, and fresh perspectives to resurrect seemingly forgotten cases. For decades, the Zodiac mystery tantalized the team. Guided by breakthroughs in forensic technology and fueled by their passion for justice, they brought years of research to the table. But it was a name, Francis Poste, that stood out in their investigation. Francis Poste was an ordinary man in the eyes of his community. A house painter and family man, he served as a U.S. Air Force veteran before settling into civilian life. Yet, the Casebreakers uncovered something sinister in his past. Their findings tied Poste not only to the Zodiac's coded letters, but to behaviors and actions that aligned eerily with the killer's profile. How could someone so unassuming hide in plain sight? The Casebreakers' investigation revealed startling clues buried in plain view. Cryptic codes sent by the Zodiac Killer contained anagrams that appeared to reference Poste's name. Pieces of his identity were embedded in the killer's taunts, as if daring investigators to solve his cryptographic puzzles. One of the major breakthroughs came from witness testimonies. Several individuals came forward with descriptions of Poste's manipulative, even sociopathic, tendencies. Among these was a chilling detail: Poste had groomed a tight-knit group of young men, teaching them violent and criminal methodologies. This gang reflected the Zodiac's cunning use of manipulation and deception. For those who knew him, there existed 2 Gary Postes, one dutiful community member, the other a man shrouded in shadows. These contrasting personas mirrored the duality that often defines notorious criminals. Decades of evidence pointed to unanswered questions about the Zodiac, and the Casebreakers explored every conceivable angle. Among the most tantalizing leads was an unconfirmed Zodiac victim connected through Poste's timeline. This victim's murder, while initially dismissed, carried hallmarks of the Zodiac's MO. The link between Poste and the Zodiac murders extends into the physical realm too. Investigators pointed to forensic details, including hairs found at a crime scene and a watch appearing to belong to the same brand Poste wore. Frustratingly, despite these connections, critical DNA evidence from the Zodiac's letters remains untested, gathering dust in FBI storage. This shadow of neglect leaves the door open for doubts, but private detective Tom Colbert insists that new evidence awaiting evaluation will cement the ties between Poste and the Zodiac mysteries. While the casebreakers worked tirelessly to unravel this case, their investigation faced systemic roadblocks. According to claims by members of the team, law enforcement agencies were less than cooperative. The complexity of the case, combined with its notoriety, made missteps risky and controversial. The casebreakers allege that the FBI deliberately downplayed or ignored certain leads, possibly to avoid committing resources to a case riddled with public scrutiny. Crucial DNA samples, the key to definitively pinning Poste to the crimes, sit untested in government storage, stalling the closure victims and their families desperately deserve. What becomes clear in reviewing the casebreakers' findings is that the strength of their case lies in its mosaic nature. No single breakthrough solved the Zodiac puzzle. Instead, it was a convergence of isolated pieces forming a chilling portrait of Francis Poste. One key player in this narrative is investigative journalist Dale Julin. Julin's relentless pursuit of whistleblowers added depth to the casebreakers' research. He recalls tracking individuals who provided damning evidence of Poste's hidden life. From cryptographic decoding to revelations about Poste's military training, every piece brought the Zodiac into clearer focus. Witnesses described Poste as an enigmatic figure with a dark undercurrent. They recounted moments of calculated manipulation, cryptic conversations, and behavior that mirrored the Zodiac's psychological profile. The work of the casebreakers reflects a profound commitment to solving mysteries often deemed unsolvable. They combed through Zodiac's infamous ciphers, analyzing everything with advanced technology not available in the 1960s. Poste's military background in cryptography heavily influenced these codes, providing a chilling insight into his calculated methods. But beyond the riddles, there's an undeniable humanity to their journey. This wasn't just about identifying a killer, it was about justice, for the victims, for their families, and for the broader society haunted by the Zodiac's name. True crime is more than a genre, it's the pursuit of accountability, and sometimes, the dedication of private citizens does what bureaucracy cannot. Peeling back the layers of Francis Poste's life reveals a harrowing reminder: monsters hide among us. Poste's transformation from an Air Force veteran to an alleged architect of terror exemplifies a duality that often characterizes figures in true crime cases. Many of those who lived near him describe him as deceptive yet ordinary. His reserved demeanor worked in his favor, disarming those who might recognize his darker tendencies. He led a double life defined by charm on the surface and manipulation beneath. Witnesses recall Poste impressing control upon his makeshift gang, teaching them tactics that eerily mirrored the Zodiac's psychological warfare with the public. Over time, these behaviors cemented an image of Poste as someone carefully curating the chaos surrounding him. While the casebreakers present their findings with confidence, skeptics continue to call for definitive proof. Poste's connection to the Zodiac murders may never be 100% confirmed until DNA testing resolves lingering questions. Yet, this reluctance from law enforcement to process critical evidence leaves the case incomplete. And so, the Zodiac mystery, while brushed with clarity, retains its air of the unknown. Questions linger: if this breakthrough team succeeded where so many failed, why hasn't there been institutional acknowledgement? What would it take for the FBI to reopen its case files and embrace the forensic tools now at its disposal? True crime is as much about the unanswered as the solved, and the Zodiac case embodies this dichotomy. The casebreakers' investigation sheds light not only on the killer but also on the systems that failed to deliver justice in the first place. Their work illustrates the tenacity of those committed to truth, however elusive it may be. The tale of the Zodiac Killer remains a puzzle of fear and obsession. It's a reminder of how dark corners of the human mind can intertwine with societal fascination and frustration. From the haunting ciphers to the painstaking steps of discovery, this is not merely a story of murder but one of relentless human pursuit, of courage in the face of the unknown. It's now our turn to watch as developments unfold, keeping Francis Poste's name intertwined with one of the most compelling mysteries of the 20th century. True crime fans, you are part of this unfolding saga. Who knows, maybe the final chapter has yet to be written.